You thought you'd have a good time. You didn't stop for a second to think about me.
That's crazy. You knew the rules, Alex.
What rules?
Look, Alex, I like you. And if I wasn't with somebody else, then maybe I'd be with you. But I am.
Please don't justify yourself as pathetic. You tell me to fuck off, I'd have more respect for you.
All right, then fuck off.
And you get out!
I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to an exciting episode, Citizen Frame, as we continue our short retrospective of erotic thrillers.
Oh,
Well, we might
matron.
continue it. What?
Oh, matron. As Kenneth Williams says in the Carry On films.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is that? 75% of our listeners are worldwide, outside the UK. Who's going to know that?
Carry On films were big in America. So they were.
No, I've never heard of them.
Just because you haven't heard of something doesn't mean that lots of other people haven't. You know, get off your high horse. But the Carry On films were a series of 1960s, 70s, actually started in the 50s, British, basically sex comedies, but they were pretty, silly and tame. They weren't offensive or anything. Yes, a bit dated, but essentially starred Kenneth Williams, Sid James, Barbara Windsor, Hattie Jakes, Charles Hawtrey. Same cast in every film, but it'd be set in a different sort of scenario. And there was one, Carry On Doctor, where comedian Kenneth Williams plays this stuck-up managerial type in a hospital, and he says to Hattie Jakes' matron, "Oh, matron." So, yeah, there you go. But anyway, Fatal Attraction.
Fuck my life. Fuck my life. All right. So anyways, there you go, everyone. Carry On.
Yep.
For the Americans over there, I'll tell you what. It's a movie version of Benny Hill.
Basically.
So there you go. There's what Carry On is. I'll break it down.
I thought you didn't know about them.
We don't have to listen to a fucking 20-minute explanation of what the fuck a Carry On film is.
I thought you didn't know about them.
Enough with this Carry On.
Carry On Citizen Frame.
All right. Fatal Attraction. I love this movie when I was younger. I was like 16 when it came out. And this and Beetlejuice. And the reason they're so close to me, because my first job was a movie theater. I have explained this before. General Cinema in Burnhaven, Burnsville area, that is, Minnesota. And Fatal Attraction and Beetlejuice were the two big movies that year. And they, and then on your breaks, you get to go, you take a thing of popcorn, you go sit in the theater. Well, I did that. And I saw Fatal Attraction and Beetlejuice probably from combined total like 35 times.
Right.
Just because it was during my breaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, so cards on the table. I'm a big fan of this film and still holds up. And as if you watch it through the adult eyes, it's quite a lot more darker than I remember. So we're going to talk.
With me, I mean, I watched this years ago on TV. Just I remember whenever it first came out, when it came out in video as well, there were all the posters and stuff. But at the time, and I probably actually still now, I was more into watching films about monsters and possessed trees and Kandarian demons and the like.
And fucking Carry On films.
Well, obviously, but yeah, good mix actually. But yeah, so I saw it years ago, but it was on TV, and I plainly remember the finale basically, and also the rabbit scene, the bunny boiler scene. But yeah, I mean, watching it again for the podcast, I mean, we'll obviously talk about it. Yeah, impressive.
Yeah, let's jump into it. Fatal Attraction, directed by Adrian Lyne. Now, Adrian Lyne only does erotic thrillers. Besides one film he did, Outside the Box, which I actually think is his second best work next to this, which is Jacob's Ladder.
I was going to say that. I love Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah, not to be confused with the remake, which was fucking shit. Terrible.
There's a remake of Jacob's Ladder?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh dear, that's just that.
Don't even see it. I shouldn't even mention it.
There are certain films you can't remake, and that would be one of them, in my opinion. Jacob's Ladder is superb, and we should get to it at some point.
Yeah, I can't remember it as much. I think I can't remember. I think he was going through Yeah, PTSD, wasn't it? He was a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, and he's getting all these sort of nightmares and visions of,
You think he's being tested on, but he's not.
and
I don't know.
yeah, it goes back to Agent Orange and all that sort of thing.
I remember his son commits suicide or dies.
It basically,
and his son is a cameo because he was popular then. It was played by Macaulay Culkin.
that's right. Yes, that's correct. I don't know if he commits suicide, but his son does die. But yes, Macaulay Culkin, a very young Macaulay Culkin, is in it as his son. But it's very deep and it features a very weird but very powerful twist at the end.
All right. Well, we'll maybe save that for later.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's known for like Flashdance, Indecent Proposal, Unfaithful.
9.5 weeks.
They're all pretty good. No, he didn't do that, did he?
I believe he did. Yes.
Okay. Well, he does these. So that's just what he's known for. So he's a perv. but but those films I mentioned, I'd watch them again. They're good films.
You're a perv.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just, well, I'm not going there too early in the fucking morning. But this, his movies, and every one of my movies I mentioned were hits.
Yes, the one.
And all big hits. You got Robert Redford, Demi Moore, Jennifer Beals, Diane Lane. All of these actors were in his films, and he always got great soundtracks and he's very good where to place the camera and what music to put into his films. This one will focus on really about opera, Madame Butterfly, which is very significant to this film. You've got, and then he struck while the iron was hot, because at the time in the 80s, you had movies like Body Heat with Liam Hurt and Kathleen Turner. You had Jagged Edge, which was a great film. You guys want to see a film? It's a whodunit, really good, with Jeff Bridges and actually Glenn Close. Thief of Hearts was good. You had The Big Easy with Dennis Quaid.
What was that?
So you had these.
What was that one in the early 90s with one of the Baldwin brothers and possibly Sharon Stone set in like an apartment
Terrible
block?
Sliver,
yes. The reason I remember that mainly is because of the UB40 soundtrack with their cover of Elvis's "I Can't Help Falling in Love."
Yeah, it's a good soundtrack. Yes, the only thing good about that movie.
Good version of the song. Yeah,
but let's piggyback on that. So you had all these hits: Body Heat, Jagged Edge, Thief of Hearts, Big Easy, and then Angel Heart would be more of an erotic thriller goth. But you had these films coming out, and they're all doing fine. Like we always said, there's always these clusters of these subgenres that come out that do well, and this was one of them. But then it peaked with a movie called Basic Instinct, yes. And then you had Sliver. Then you had Final Analysis, which actually I thought was pretty good with Richard Gere, Kim Basinger. Then then it kind of faded a bit, and another subgenre would be a hit.
Yeah,
it always came in waves.
Certain phrases in Hollywood, over the years, through periods, like for example, over the last lot of years, we've had the superhero craze. But yeah, back in the 80s and early 90s, we had the sort of erotic thriller craze.
So, yeah. $14 million budget, made $320 million worldwide. Big hit, nominated for 6 Academy Awards. Both actresses were nominated. I will tell you this right now. Both of them deserve to be nominated. They are the scene stealers in this film. Anne Archer's performance, and especially Glenn Close, is phenomenal. They steal this movie. And Michael Douglas, everyone knows how much I'm a big fan of Michael Douglas. I love everything he does, and he's good in this. But the character's quite bland, and that is a problem for Fatal Attraction when I watch this again today. And the big reason is why he does what he does. But we'll talk about it and his journey after having yum time with Alex Forrest.
I think his character and his wife are both quite bland, and it's really elevated here by Glenn Close.
I completely disagree with what you said about Anne Archer, especially that second act when she finds out he cheated. You're completely wrong.
I'm talking about the character. I'm not talking about her performance.
Oh, okay. Well, you kind of didn't say that.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
No, I did. Why would I lie? No, I mean, she can obviously act and act well, but the character is a bit wishy-washy. And so's his, actually.
Now, well, maybe that connect that. Maybe that answers my question why he cheats.
Possibly.
Okay, so our girl, Alex Forrest, suffers. I actually looked this up. You're welcome. You're welcome, all.
Their words.
She suffers from an obsessive condition. It's known as, I'm going to butcher this, Declay-Ram-Bow syndrome. Declay-Ram-Bow syndrome, which is a type of delusion commonly known as erotomania. I can't fucking speak these. Who the fuck creates these words? Why can't they just say batshit?
Oh, right. Well, you're doing all right. Doctor words, psychiatrist
so listen,
words. Yeah.
Commonly known as erotomania, where a person wrongfully believes another person, often someone of higher status, is in love with them.
Okay. Yeah.
I get this all the time.
No, you do it more like.
Yeah, I have Declay-Ram busking. And that sounds like something from the fucking.
Well, it sounds
Evil Dead. Evil Dead. Declay-Ram syndrome.
From the Book of the Dead. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Necronomicon. But no, we'll get to the Evil Dead later on, actually, whenever she turns into a deadite in the bath in the finale for some reason. But
that's funny. That's why I said this is why I'm going to say, and we're not going to spoil it yet, but we won't go any deeper than what I'm about to say. But that's why I think this film teeters on horror.
Oh, definitely. And there's a final scare and everything. This is whenever you really peel back the layers. Yeah, the Glenn Close character is actually a very tragic character, and you do feel sorry for her in certain scenes, especially the scene where he stands her up for the opera. You know, she's sitting there with the tickets in her apartment, flicking the light on and off. You know, it's brilliantly played by Glenn Close. Apparently, I looked into this a bit as well, and it's very dark. And apparently, psychiatrists, psychologist types have said that this type of condition and this type of character would have probably been sexually abused as a child, and they then have grown up associating sex with violence. So it's pretty dark stuff, although it's only loosely hinted at in the film.
Well, I think there's layers to it. It doesn't have to be.
No, there is. It's hinted at, yeah.
Yeah, that's all you really need. You know, it's replay value. You get more and more out of it, and that's why this holds up today.
I think there's
all right. So we got
that her father abused her.
Well, we'll jump into it. We'll jump into it here in a second. Here, okay. So we got Michael Douglas as Dan Gallagher, Ann Archer as Beth, Glenn Close as Alex Forrest, Ellen Latson as Ellen, Stuart Patkin as Jimmy, Ellen Foley as Hildy, and Fred Gwynn, a pointless cameo, as Arthur.
Apparently, he was in
and
it more,
of course,
but the scenes were cut.
Okay, and. Well, the movie was long enough. And, of course, the scene stealer, Whitey the Rabbit. All right. Well, the opening scene is like 15 minutes long. It's about 13 minutes, right? And so the whole thing is pretty much family life, right? So you meet Beth and Ellen, and he's a very good father. He loves his wife. You can tell that. And they're going to this work do. And this is where we meet Alex for the first time. Now, I never get films because when you meet Alex for the first time, and this is no disrespect to Glenn Close, who's a beautiful woman, obviously, and she's very sexy, and in this film. But I guess it was of the time, like you said, it's the '80s, man. It was the '80s, and
I was actually going to say that.
So hairspray is the thing, but when you're introduced to her, she's in the kind of the shadows, but she's got this white face and this big hair. She looks like she's like an albino raccoon who's been electrocuted because she's got the eyeliner on, and she looks like she's got two big black eyes, but they're indented because she's in the shadows. And she's got this white. It just looks really creepy, and she is beautiful. I don't get me wrong, but from that shot, I would be like, nah, I think I'll stick with Beth.
The hair, is pure '80s. All of this opening stuff. The film in general is pure '80s, but all of this opening stuff, with the sort of yuppies out at their, this event. I don't know, samurai thing. What's going on there? Some samurai book meditation thing or something. It's all just pure '80s.
Oh, that's right. I don't mind that because what's great about it, it's so quick. Like I'm saying, the first 15 minutes you kind of introduce all these, and the very minimal cast, which is fantastic. And Jimmy and Hildy are their good friends, and they're at this, the samurai. I think it's self-help cookbook or something.
Meditation or something. Yeah.
And he is a legal.
He's a lawyer to a publisher.
he's a lawyer for a publisher, and Alex is an editor, and so that's how they kind of know each other. But Jimmy, he's kind of the comic relief for the small bits he's in. He makes a comment when she walks in. Whoa, man! If looks could kill, well,
fun intended.
Yeah, no kidding. And so I do like, you knew right away that him and Hildy and Beth and Ellen, and let's say that's their son, daughter, got confused there for a minute. And I couldn't tell if it was a girl or boy. That's terrible to say that, but I just was confused sometimes. But anyways, but she's just a kid. Kids look like kids.
Well, the daughter is very tomboy. So at first I thought it was their son. And actually later on.
Do you know what she's in?
Yeah, go ahead. No, don't.
She was the young daughter of Randy Quaid's in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, the vacation films. Yes, I read up on that actually to do my research for this, but I wouldn't have clocked that. I have seen them on TV, on video and stuff, but I wouldn't have remembered that. But yeah, I did look it up and did see that. But because the whole stuff with the daughter was generally confusing to me at first. I'll tell you why. Because again, like I say, I hadn't seen this in years. And I'd watched it on TV, so I wasn't really properly, focusing, paying attention at the time. But, he says that the daughter is like 5 years old, but then later on, whenever he's talking with her, Alex, getting close, and she's asking, do you have a family? Do you have a wife? And he says, yeah, I have a daughter, and she's 6. And I'm going, why has he said she's 6 when she's 5? And so I was thinking, is he deliberately lying to put her off the scent of his family, type thing? But then, I suppose technically the daughter is in her 6th year. But yeah, there's quite a tomboy sort of, especially with the short hair, sort of look about the daughter.
Yeah, but she's very good at it. It's very good little actress.
The child actress, here as a daughter is actually very good, and especially in certain scenes where they're breaking up and she's crying and stuff.
Yeah, and the bunny.
Yeah, obviously.
I was crying. So, yeah, so she's going away, the wife and the kid are going away for the weekend to check on this house that he wants to buy in upstate New York. And he stays because he's got the legal meeting, and this is where he meets Alex again. And they they meet outside in the rain. And then she's pretty much playing with him. And she's like, so why are you here having a drink with me if you're so happy? He goes,
it's quite naughty.
I'm not doing anything wrong yet.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to they're taking each other's clothes off on the fucking stove, and they're licking each other's faces, and it's like laughable. At first, when you first see it when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, but now you look at it, you're laughing because I didn't know if he wanted to fuck her or was he basting her and then putting her in the oven.
Yeah,
because he's like,
and then they're playing about with the water and stuff, and
it's like, well, is she made out of chocolate? Why the fuck are you licking her like this?
I read up on this actually. Just doing my research for this podcast, and apparently the director said that sex scenes in beds are boring and bland, so let's make this a bit funny. So it's intentional, whatever he almost falls with like his trousers around his ankles and stuff, and so it's all intentional. So it is, because
it's the same thing when they go to the nightclub and then he gets a BJ in the elevator, right? He's getting his wick. He's getting his wick wet.
Yeah, indeed.
And then you see the guy walking past the elevator because it's one of those loft elevators, so you can see the elevator. You can see it.
Yes,
it's gated. It's not walled, so you can see everything that's in there. And he's looking up as he's getting, sucked on.
Yep.
And this guy's walking past. So there is that humor to which makes sense because if the actors are uncomfortable doing sex scenes, if you had a little humor to it, it kind of makes it easy for them to
for them probably
attention, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's funny because and then it's the next day they make spaghetti dinner, they walk the dog. There's a relevant scene where they're making the dinner, and he opens up to her about this one time the father was caring to him about when he took him to go see Madame Butterfly. And he tells her the story. Madame Butterfly is about the soldier who falls in love with this woman, and then the soldier leaves, and the woman's so depressed that he's gone and out of her life that she kills herself.
Yes.
And he says, it's the one time my father protected me, and it was the only one time he wasn't a douche. But how relevant that story is,
yes,
to what we're seeing, what is about to happen with him.
And also during this scene as well, he talks about he basically fakes dropping dead, like a bit of a playful, jokey thing. And then she says, "How could you do that? My father died of a heart attack." And then she says, "Your father didn't die of a heart attack," but then we find out that he did die of a heart attack. So these are the first signs that there's a bit more to her than meets the eye, let's just say.
Well, yeah, you can see it in his face when at first he's like, "God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make a joke like that. I didn't know your father died." But then she says it was a joke. He was like,
"Oh, you can see it in his
that's
face.
funny."
He's going, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
Yeah. You batshit crazy lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see it in his face, basically.
So when he gets up from, yum yum time, he's leaving. His wife's coming back. She's like getting, I can't believe you leaving me. Well, you know this was going to happen. This wasn't going to be a relationship, woman. And then she's like, you know what? I'd have more respect for you if you just told me to fuck off. So he's like, okay, fuck off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then she slits her wrist. This is the Play Misty for me.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Now, let's pause here for a second because we got Play Misty for me here. And this does blatantly take from Play Misty for me. Pretty much every scene there's a little nod to it, and that's deliberate, and that's great. And I said that in last week's podcast. Play Misty for me paved the way for these films, period. No other film did. Play Misty for me. That's how iconic and how important of a director and filmmaker Clint Eastwood is. But what Play Misty for me did right is you knew right away that this guy was a prick. I said on the podcast, I didn't like the guy, didn't like the lead actor. He was a womanizer. He cheated on his girl. He's trying to get her back. He sleeps with this girl. He kind of, we made that comment. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. It was kind of what the whole take of Play Misty for me is.
Yeah.
The problem I have with this one is you don't know why he did it. Ann Archer's beautiful. He's happy. He's got good friends. We don't get a reason why he slept with this girl.
Well, basically, I think the reason he cheated is because he was like Clint in Play Misty. For me, he was thinking with his dick. The wife was away, and it was more of an impulsive, get your end away type thing. So
get your end away. What the fuck? You mean you end away? You mean come?
No, your dick. His dick. Get his dick away. Have you never heard that expression?
Get your end away?
Get your end away.
What the hell does that mean?
It means show your wide oats, have sex, basically. But so yeah,
is it to burst your load? So you're saying to get your end away is to burst your load?
No, it just means get your end away, get your dick away.
It makes no fucking sense. We have this argument before. You're just speaking in gibberish.
You've never heard that expression before, to get your end away.
Never, ever in my life have I gone, God, I want to go to the bar, pick somebody up, and get my end away.
Well, it's a common expression in the UK, and anyone in the UK will 100% get it. But anyway, he was thinking of his knob. That's what he was thinking of, and he thought he would get away with it.
Such a fucking idiot. You're an idiot.
Why?
Idiot.
Why?
Because you're just
that's what
carry on and get your end on, whatever the fuck. Get your end away.
So that's basically he was he thought he could get away with it, and I
just think it's a poor reason.
Well, I mean,
it's a poor reason. We needed something because I'll tell you what, I never feel sorry for this character. I feel sorry for the wife.
Yes, I did as well. Yeah,
and I actually feel sorry for Alex Forrest.
Yes,
over him.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you don't really
actually. Maybe that's the point
for him.
Maybe that's the point.
Yeah. No, I would say it's intentional. He's a bit of it's be careful what you wish for type thing, and there you don't really. There's no tragic backstory for him. There's no. The wife was treating him badly, so he was sort of found himself in the arms of another woman. And there was none of that there, but I think that is the point. He was just basically thinking with his bell end, and he got more than he bargained for.
Bell end.
Have you never heard these expressions?
No,
right.
End away.
What's Carry On
Jesus
film?
Christ. Oh my God. This is where you're getting your fucking English language from. Carry On films. No wonder nobody's ever heard of this.
No, you've never heard of them. Everybody else.
No. I know nobody's heard Bell End and Get Your End Away.
Right. Well, like everyone in the UK will have. So that's all I'm saying.
Well, there's
and
all,
Ireland, UK
all
and
four
Ireland,
listeners.
UK and Ireland, everyone will know exactly what I'm talking about. So without it
That's
being
3 people.
explained by you or like, what are you talking about, man? You know, it's
Okay, what the fuck was that?
that was
Am I from Detroit? What was that?
okay. Say Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I've never heard
What?
I've never heard of Star Wars before. I've heard of Star Wars, but not Star Wars. Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. Let's get back to this. Now, there's a scene I'm really upset about.
What? The bunny?
The dog. His dog. So he leaves her after fixing her up and stuff and says, all right, well,
He
take care of
fixes her
yourself.
up
I'll
all
see you
right.
later. He fixes her up. Yeah. He got his end away.
Oh,
So
the spell hand.
So his wife's coming, so he's cleaning the house, getting all ready for her, the flat, whatever. And he makes the dog eat the leftover pasta that Alex made for him. I'm like, great, now you make the dog an accomplice.
What?
That is rude.
You have to feed the dog.
Yeah, but it's an accomplice now. You're making the dog eat the evidence.
Don't think the dog
That's
gives a
so
shit.
rude.
I think he was just looking to pass the dinner, the dog. But the dog's not a very good guard dog, I would say, later on, whenever she, pounces out with a knife and stuff. But sure, it was probably too focused on its pasta.
The dog was pretty much. The dog was probably trying to get its end away with the poodle next door.
Wow, wow. We're going down that route then, are we? Right.
What? That was funny. Dog and a poodle? Oh, fuck off. That's
Right.
funny.
Well, at least it wasn't that with the rabbit.
No, don't say something that's really gonna be. Don't say something that's really be offensive.
No. I was going to say at least it wasn't the rabbit because we don't want to go down the island of Dr. Moreau, where there's animals.
For you. Oh, you know what? If the dog fucked the rabbit and get its end away, you'd be like, "Oh my god, I get it. This is so Lovecraftian."
It would be the island of Dr. Moreau. We'll be watching a completely different film, and that would be okay.
This conversation's gone way. Okay, let's get back to. Wow. So now he's back. He's family man guy, and I think he's just a fraud. And
well, I would say that Michael Douglas actually plays it very well in terms of you can see clearly that he feels so guilty and that he's trying to make it up and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the film gets right, is despite us not knowing why he did what he did, it's the same thing with Clint's character in Play Misty for me. You start seeing close-ups of his eyes and the guilt, especially once other people that were not involved are getting involved.
There's nuance there.
Like, it is a great scene. Actually, it's such a simple scene. It's like 3-minute dialogue. And it's when she keeps calling him at the office, and it's starting to escalate, calling at home and stuff. And he finally has to tell his friend Jimmy, who we met in the beginning, who has this great rapport and good chemistry, good jokes and stuff like that. But he can't even look him in the eyes when he's telling him what he's done, because this guy is.
And also with the cop as well.
He's a family lawyer.
Yes.
So that's why he's talking to Jimmy about it. And he can't even look him in the eyes. So every time something happens, like this week, she tells him, I'm pregnant. And this is how kind of ignorant he is. He goes, oh, don't worry. I'll get you an abortion. I'll pay for it. Like, first of all, don't make that assumption. It's not your kid, it's mine. And she'd be right in saying that. But this is where
there's an arrogance. There's an arrogance about him.
Yeah, there's an arrogance. Like, well, we'll just get rid of the kid, and she doesn't want that clearly. So he
doesn't even ask her.
Yeah, he's like entitled for no reason.
Yeah, no.
But when he finally opens up to Jimmy, he's finally shows his vulnerable side, and that's where they did that with Play Misty for me, where the character's finally coming to his arc, where. Shit, the chain of events are about to happen. Is
realization is kicking in. I would also say that he shows even more vulnerability, and it's very well played by Michael Douglas in the scene with the cop, where he's trying to get the cop to basically warn her off, but he's saying that this is a friend of mine has done this, and you can see her awkward and stuff. The cop knows fine rightly. It's actually played very well by both of them, and the cop knows fine rightly that it's actually him he's talking about, but you can see he's panicking, he's vulnerable, he's realized, I have really messed up here, Well,
it's the same thing in Play Misty for me, when I think it's a bartender who says, or isn't a cop, it could be one of the two, but he says, can't remember, he says, you play with the sword, you'll die by the sword, kind of thing.
It's
well, even the cop
the
here
fellow
said,
DJ says that.
"Oh, the DJ says that. That's
Yeah.
right." And the cop here even tells him, "Well, so he's got to, he has to wait to be attacked." He goes, "Well, it's his bed.
To lie on it.
He made it. He's got to lie in it."
Yeah.
Same concept as live by the sword, die by the sword.
Exactly. There's nobody to blame here but himself.
Glenn Close, the scenes where she's alone, where,
Tragic.
like you said, about flickering the light on and off, and the scene where she's trying to call the number, but they disconnected it, and she just keeps calling it, and the whole bed is full of like Oreos, Fritos, Doritos,
Yeah.
all this junk food, but as she keeps trying to call it, she's getting angrier and angrier, and you don't know where to go with it because
Glenn Close is on record as saying about the character that she never once approached the character as a villain. She always approached her as a tragic character who you felt sorry for. And I would agree with that.
I think that's where they're kind of playing on the Madame Butterfly.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's a parallel there, a direct parallel.
Yeah, technically, Michael Douglas is a soldier, had his time with her and leaves, and now she's all alone. That's what they're kind of playing on.
There are even lines of dialogue where she says, whenever he's in her apartment and stuff, and she says, "You think you can just fuck me?" And then that's the end of it. You can just sort of do this to me, and there's no repercussions. And technically, she's right. She is right, actually. But at the same time, obviously, she goes to extremes, But but when you boil it down, the cockiness and the arrogance of him thinks that he can just shag her, and basically that's the end of it, with no consideration for her feelings, type thing, because he's this type of entitled yuppie. But he soon quickly realizes that there's more to this than meets
I
the
love
eye.
when he walks back to the house, the flat, and they're selling it because they're going to move to this new house in upstate New York. And there's Alex. "Oh, look, Alex says you might know each other because she was at the party of us." And he's like, "Oh, yeah." Michael Douglas look in that. You got Ann Archer and you've got Glenn Close playing, almost like friends.
Yes.
Right. And then you've got the outside party, Michael Douglas just looking in, and his look on his face is priceless.
It's an awkward scene. You're sort of cringing with him. It's just like you're like putting yourself in his position. How would you deal with this? This is such an awkward situation. Very, I mean, throughout this, it's very tense, but this is one of the more quieter but still as tense scenes. There's no stabbing or whatever.
Well, even then we cut to a little more intense scene to piggyback what you're saying. Each time they meet after pretty much once she infiltrates his family, that's where he's done.
Yeah.
This is where, okay, now we got a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to her house after that moment, and he just fucking goes off on her. And she goes, "You want a scotch?" She goes, "Cut the shit. What the fuck are you doing?" And then the famous line, "I'm not going to be ignored, Dan."
Yeah.
Great line. And there's a line where he goes, "You go near my fucking family again, I will fucking end you." He leaves. He goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call your wife." And she's pretending she picks up the phone, but she can't do it. And you know why? Because she can't tell her, because that's her leverage on him.
And then, that is then backed up whenever he does tell the wife, and then he rings her and says, "It's all out in the open now. I've told my wife," and she knows that he's basically played her, and she's saying, "Nah, you wouldn't do that. There's no way." So he then has an upper hand to a certain extent whenever he tells the wife, because, like you say, that was her leverage. She was basically blackmailing him.
Yeah, but then the fucking best part is when Beth gets on the phone and goes, "You come near my family again, I'll kill you."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then her face when she gets that message from the wife, meaning shit, and that's when everything goes to shit.
Yeah, because she then has to uppergate. Alex then has to uppergate. She's nothing left but to go full psycho mode. She can't emotionally blackmail him anymore. So all she has left is to basically kill the family pet, kidnap the daughter, and stab the wife and him, and turn into a deadite.
So we have a scene where the battery acid thought was a little overkill. Pardon the pun. I thought that scene was a little stupid, but
car.
But he gets the rental car, And he puts that tape in. And the tape in is just terrifying. She just goes off on him. You probably can't get it up. You're probably gay.
Yeah.
Just saying just things to him that just
Pretty sinister.
Just pretty sinister shit. So I like the scene though where I like jump scares that are relevant to the scene at hand. So he decides to take the tape and he's going to continue listening to the tape in his little office in the new home. And he's listening to it and she's getting more intense. I'm going to fucking, you fucking bastard. I'm going to fucking blah, blah. And as it's getting more and more abrupt, Beth character grabs by the shoulder just to say hi and it scares the fuck out of him.
Yeah. No.
But it's the scene where he finally knows he's fucked. And this is where he goes to the cop, as we talked about earlier. But
the cops have his hands tied. Yeah.
It's once we get to the bunny rabbit scene where she killed Whitey, the poor defenseless Whitey. The animals are all being like, Whitey gets fucking boiled and the dog is an accomplice.
I thought the animals were pretty good at it, but Whitey was really good at playing dead, I have to say,
So when he once the rabbit's dead, he's got to tell her. He's got no choice now. He's got to tell Beth, and it is a great scene. And who sells it by far? Her best moment in this film is Ann Archer, because she's got to go from concern, like what's going on? What do you have to tell me? To hurt and emotionally broken to fucking angry.
She actually
within a matter of moments.
Plays it very well in terms of she knows what he's about to say, but she's like you can see inside that she knows what's coming and she's terrified of it. That he's had this affair.
And then once he even mentions the affair, and he lies to her because he says it was only one night. Yeah, it wasn't. It was the weekend. It was a weekend, but then her emotions, she starts crying. Do you love her? No. It was only for that one night. Yada yada yada. But once he says she's pregnant, she flips it and goes, "Get the fuck out of this house."
Yeah, that's the big stinger. Tell me this here. Do you think that she was really pregnant? Because it's never explained. I mean, it's never followed up. I don't think she was.
I don't think she was.
Yeah, no, I don't think she was. But I like that it's left hanging in the air. By the way, do you know I haven't watched it, but do you know there is a sequel TV series to this?
It's not a sequel. It's just a TV version series of it.
Is it?
I've seen it.
Okay, I haven't seen it. Yeah. What's it like?
That's all right. It was okay. It was all right. Nothing great.
Okay.
It got canceled, so.
It was that good?
Yeah. It was all right. It wasn't bad. It was just,
daytime TV type stuff.
No. It was
drama.
It was graphic. It was. It had big names in it. Christina Ricci and Joshua Jackson. It was all right. It wasn't crap, but it wasn't this. This
wasn't groundbreaking.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do love how, okay, you told her, so I'm going to kidnap your kid now. That's really going to help things out. And I love how she takes her to the roller coaster in like dead of winter. First of all, what amusement park is open in wintertime in fucking New York? And it would be, they're out, they got their winter coats and scarves on, and they're on a roller coaster. You'd be fucking freezing.
Well, even Barry's in Port Royce here is closed over the winter season. So, yes, I don't know. But it's still a very tense scene.
I do like how they cut back and forth. You got Beth looking for her kid. Where's my kid? Someone, oh no, your friend picked her up. What the fuck are you talking about? What friend? Call the police. And as we keep cutting back to them, they're on the roller coaster having a good time. And she's driving around panicking. And as she gets hit by another car, their roller coaster kind of hits at their ending. It's well synced.
Yeah.
And
you know what that scene actually reminded me of? This is going to sound really stupid.
You know what scene I got a scene that reminds me of?
Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, what the fuck?
At the end, with the whole sort of stuff in the school and stuff, I mean, obviously this is miles more tense and better realised, but it just...
What the...
It didn't remind me of it. You know the way there's...
you know what I had?
What?
I had, because I complained about it in the movie, it's called The Dead Zone.
Yeah.
And it's when they go to a roller coaster ride together and they're in their coats and they're freezing.
Yes.
And I'm like, who does this? But that's what I got. You got fucking Kindergarten Cop?
No, because there is that climactic scene in a school where the kids are under threat in Kindergarten Cop. You know what?
Just has
Whenever bad
not
guy
even
goes to the
close.
school, it just
Not
reminded me
even
of it.
close.
I'm not saying
Not even close.
I'm not saying it is the same way realized or whatever, but it did remind me of it. Just a scene where a kid is under threat in a school in a thriller. That's what it brought to mind for me. You know, shut
Was
up,
Arnie trying to
shut
get
up. You know, big Arnie
was Arnie trying to get his end away?
with his belly end.
Oh my God. But the best performance in this part would be Michael Douglas. So he goes to the hospital, and we see it. And even this simple little shot here. He walks in the hospital room. There's his wife in bed, and
Father-in-law's there.
bruised and stuff. But the father-in-law's there, who we just recently saw. They have a good relationship, but
Not
now
anymore.
the dad just looks at him, doesn't even look at him, just gets up and walks away.
Yeah.
And Dan grabs her hand. She grabs his hand, and she kind of says something. You don't really know what it is, but it's right there. She forgives him, and he starts crying, and that's kind of like their closure. Their I guess you can say our couple arc, whatever you want to say, but it's a good scene, and then we cut to the Hollywood, the big finale here.
Yes.
But it's a nice way to close the gap on their relationship.
Well, yeah, and then we'll have the big, like you say, we'll have the big explosive horror-esque Hollywood finale. You know, where she's
There's this whole way this is executed. It's so fun. Is where she's in the bath, you get in the bath going, and he's making a cup of tea, but he's letting the pot, the kettle boil for a little too long, but it's loud. Those things can be loud, and he's downstairs. So he doesn't hear the ruckus going on, the fight that they're having up there. But it's nice when the minute he takes the thing off the kettle, he hears the screaming, and he knows right away to get up there, and the fight begins with her and him then. And
purple.
Again, let me finish. Hold on for a second. Glenn Close then has that moment before the actual fight starts where she's just tearing into her, just saying, he's mine, how dare you come into my life, and she's almost acting like Ann Arch is the one who cheated.
Yes.
So she's so delusional at this point, and she's digging her knife into her side as she's tired. I was like, ew. And the tension that's in Anne's face is really recognized. But when he gets up there and he drowns her, it looks so real and so well done. Brutal. You got Glenn Close with her eyes are all white because they're rolling up, and she drowns. Now, I know this is an erotic thriller, but when the jump scare, another wonderful jump scare when she pops back up, it does give you that little fantasy because she would be dead. So there's no way she's under there that long. She would be dead. But you got to give us that jump scare. You don't think you're going to get it because it's just a erotic thriller. It's not a horror film. But he tweaks it and gives you that horror moment when she pops up. And it's Beth who kills her, not him. And that's the perfect person to do that to her is Beth, not Dan.
The director has said that he does feel that this ending is over the top, but in retrospect. But do you know that this is actually the alternate ending, or the original ending?
I know the original.
Commit suicide, and Dan get blamed on it and arrested, essentially. And apparently it was shown in Japan.
Yeah, that's what the TV show did.
Right, so it stuck with it.
The TV show stuck with it. Yeah, she commits suicide, and the knife that's shown in the film quite a few times is the knife that he's been holding. So his fingerprints are all over it,
and he gets blamed.
So then he'd be, and then he goes to jail.
Apparently, test audiences didn't like it, so then the ending would do.
Yeah. I don't like it either.
It's a lot darker, and I think I'd have preferred it actually because it's.
You like dark shit though.
Well, it's less generic. With the whole sort of final, sort of fight type thing, I think it would have been.
No,
it's different, and I like.
I mean, it's like the bunny rabbit, the part of the bunny rabbit in the stew. This is a pot boiler, and so
literally,
it's going to do that because every time she shows up or causes some kind of a ruckus in his family life, it gets more intense. The fight scenes between him and her get more intense. First, it's just conversation. Then it's just a warning. Then it's just full on. He attacks her because he attacks her after he goes after his wife and kid. He goes batshit crazy on her. We cut that out. We didn't talk about that. He just tears into her, and it's a brutal fight scene. In fact, I'm glad I can't believe I cut it out. I didn't mention it. There's a shot after he goes in for the final attack, before this all goes down.
His face,
where he goes, "You come near my family again. This is it." His face, he looks like he wants to choke her. Again, selling it. That's Michael Douglas is the actor. But when he walks away from her, there's a shot of Glenn Close leaning up against a cupboard, and she's looking at him with this like smile frown, like a grimace. And it's very Joker Harlequin-esque. And just staring at him like with this, I don't know how to explain. It's terrifying, the look she gives him. And the camera just and the camera just focuses on her.
Yeah.
And she's holding the knife. And the camera pans away and she just looks right at us with that grimace. It's just terrifying.
I think,
and that's the moment where she's,
I think I would have preferred the original ending because it's so outside the box and different to the regular sort of big fight at the end Hollywood ending that we do get, which is quite predictable actually. But it still works. I find, yes, it is over the top, but with these types of films and 80s types of films, you're going to get that. But yeah, it still works.
I'm a big fan of this one. This is the best rock thriller of all time. It's so good. I still enjoy it. And every time you watch it, it just flies by. It's like an hour and 50 minutes, and it just flies by. I'm glad they didn't do the bleak ending.
Glenn Close really sell it.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm glad they didn't do the dark ending. The movie's pretty dark as it is, and you can take what you want from it, who you kind of feel sorry for, who you don't. It still has that going for it, even though after you get her shot, because he doesn't really tell you if she's pregnant or not. So you shooting this woman, and if she is pregnant, she just killed an unborn child.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from that moment. So if you look at it from that point of view, that makes just as dark as what we would have got where he gets arrested for killing her. And so no, I like it and it also makes more sense because this is a pot boiler film and you needed that wham ending, and this is what it is. If you went the other direction, you're kind of reversing it a bit. So I'd rather have this kind of ending to stick with the flow and the way the film was being shot rather than drowning us in depression with some kind of bleak ending.
I like more bleak endings, and I like
I know you do.
something different.
Fucking freak.
Yeah,
freak.
There's too much of a happy ending here. Yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't call this a happy ending.
It is a bit, but he gets, where him and the wife, hug and stuff, and
you're making it sound like this is not this is a depressing ending. Whether you want to take it for you, how do you think this is a happy ending?
It is in a way. No,
it's not.
Well, the bad guy is killed. The husband and wife get back together. So
you're not seeing it.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I think the other route would have been even more bleak. Yeah, I like sort of bleak sort of endings, but no, I mean it still works overall. I know this film has taken quite a bit of flack over the years for being insensitive towards mental illness and other things, but I know it's a cliche, it's become a cliche in this podcast, but it was the 80s. And Glenn Close, you know what? See, in terms of the portrayal of mental illness, I think it actually works very well due to Glenn Close's performance, who gets it. Because whereas Play Misty for me, the performance there is a little bit more sort of campy at times. Not always. You still feel very sorry for the Evelyn character and stuff at times, but I think here Glenn Close nails the nuances of it even more.
Well, but you have, I think Anne Archer's just as good.
Yeah, she's playing a completely different role, to the
but technically hers is the harder role. It's easy to play batshit crazy.
Well, you do it every day, so
Oh no, I have to fucking deal with you fucking all this time. Jesus Christ, carry on.
Right.
Get your end away, people. Get your end away.
Right. Well, I'm going to say something here. Just to make this public on the record if anything is to happen. Believe it or not, there are a couple of grey squirrels that come around my back yard now, and I feed them and stuff. So if I ever come home one day from work and find a squirrel boiling in my kitchen, very small kitchen, you'll know who to blame, Kieran.
Yeah.
Squirrel boiler.
Squirrel. You're a fucking idiot.
But there's another thing this film done. It has actually brought the term bunny boiler into the public consciousness. That's where it comes from, this film. You're a bunny boiler.
Yeah. That's all we got. We're going to wrap this one up. Next up, People Under the Stairs. We'll get that out pretty quickly because we're a little behind here. And then we're kind of sticking with the erotic thriller, sort of, but not. The two big box office, well, one was a hit just because they put it out the right weekend, Valentine's Day, but it all technically did bomb and critics-wise and so forth. So we're going to do Wuthering Heights, the new one, and The Bride. So those up. And then we have retrospective coming. That's right. When Robots Go Bad.
When Robots Attack. I'm looking forward to that one, actually.
When Robots Go Bad. I can't remember what we picked. It's going to be Westworld, Hardware, Chopping Mall.
And I'm sure
what was it?
You were talking about iRobot, but we're maybe not going to do that one.
No, I can't stand Will Smith. I don't want to waste my breath.
Pretty annoying. Yeah.
No, Saturn 3.
Yes, Saturn 3. Yes, that's right.
I remember that being fucking weird as fuck. Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett, I think, is in that. Could be wrong. But yeah, so when robots attack. When robots go bad. That's our
right.
That's our retrospective. Now listen,
like Westworld. There was Future World as well, which was a sequel to Westworld.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get it. I don't know.
And I remember Hardware from back in the day, and on video watching it. Richard Stanley. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we got coming. We got The Mummy done. Okay, guys, we've seen The Mummy, and as you guys know, when we do these podcasts, I need to see film twice, and that's why I don't like doing new releases right away. So we're gonna wait until we go on demand, or if I go see it in the theater again, to give it a second glance. Because it's one of those films that people are either like it or they don't, and I don't want to be thrashing it. Right now, I'm on the fence with it, so I want to see it again before I review it. So, and also, new releases don't do as well because everyone knows we're spoiler filled, and people don't want to see us, listen to a spoiler filled film if they don't know it. So, or haven't seen it, that is. So, bear with us. We will get The Mummy out. We'll pepper it in once we get access to it again.
There's also Hokum coming out soon, and of course, Evil Dead Burn, which I'm really looking forward to.
We'll be doing Hokum. We'll be doing Hokum for sure because Oddity was one of the greatest horror films
I liked Oddity
to come out in recent years, and then we got the new Resident Evil. Our boy Zach Kreger's look at Resident Evil. Got Evil Dead Rise,
Evil Dead Burn.
Is it Evil Dead? What the fuck?
Evil Dead Rise was the last one. Get it
I
right.
know it was Evil. Fuck off.
Show some respect to the Necronomicon.
Oh my god, you're such a bellend.
Yeah.
Boy, mate, you're such a bellend.
Oh, matron.
Oh, fuck off. Okay, we're done. I got to end this now. All right. We'll chat to you guys. All the best, and I apologize for a dipshit over here. All right.
Bellend. 23 minutes and 37, I think.